And we are back. Welcome to Shark Coast Tactical Podcast 38. I got it right that time. I am here with some very special guests. We have Nate Horvath, CEO of Sons of Liberty Gunworks. We have Sean Michael Murphy, new representative of the Southeast for Sons of Liberty Gunworks. And then, of course, my homies. I have Omer.
Hello.
Luke, the Glue Andrews.
What's up?
And the amazing Dean Carroll.
What's going on, guys?
How's everybody doing?
Pretty awesome. Good.
Let's give Sons of Liberty a hand.
Fuck yeah.
Look at that. Fuck yeah. So we were closing the day out, and we were going to do a podcast about long range, since it's something I've been getting into, and Dean knows a lot about it. And Andrew came back. Me and Luke were talking about pre-prep, and he said, hey, the guys for Sons of Liberty are here. So we went out, and lo and behold, it was Nate and Sean Michael Murphy. And not only were they the Sons of Liberty guys, they were kind of important people. So they talked, we hung out, and I said, hey, you want to do a podcast? And they said,
fuck yeah.
fuck yeah. So thank you for coming down.
No,
Don't
thanks
leave
for
me
having
hanging.
us. Yeah, no, thanks for having us. Oh,
Yeah,
there we go.
thank
There we
you.
go. I was looking the wrong way.
It's all right. So I guess now we're a stocking dealer.
Yeah, officially.
Can we be officially a stocking dealer?
You're officially actually a platinum dealer.
We're officially a platinum dealer? All right.
Yeah, and so you'll be getting some of these badass Mark 1s here in your store in about 3 weeks or less.
Cool. So so this lower right here, right? So this was given to me probably 13 years ago by the employees. And it's the no fucks lower from Sons of Liberty. And we had this crusty fucking guy named Dan. He retired. He was a narcotics officer for Detroit. And they gave me this for Boss Day. And it was like the fucking biggest, it was like my most prized possession at the time. Because we didn't have a lot of money back in the day. And I was like, man. And so I made it into this, it's not a very nice rifle, but it's it's mine. So Sons of Liberty has always been like a big deal to me. Like being an independent business owner, like I knew we couldn't ever build ARs like Sons of Liberty, but I was like, fuck, these guys are just the coolest as can be. And especially like with the low, like when I saw a lower, it said no fucks. I was like, Jesus, I found my people. So when the other guys don't know this, I told you this over in the building. So when Lori learned how to do laser engraving, Lori taught herself laser engraving. My wife, she taught herself laser engraving, and we got pretty good at it. But there were some people in San Antonio who knew a little bit more stuff than we did, and they were San Antonio laser engraving. And I had finagled them to train Lori. I said, hey, can you just teach Lori the stuff that we don't know? And they were like, yeah, you can come on down. So I didn't have any money at the time. I borrowed like cash and San Antonio made us bring cash. Like they were so fucking sketchy back then. Like they're like, you got to bring us cash. It was like $8,000. So I brought $8,000 and bought a laser, but they wouldn't let me sit in on the classes. So Lori sat there for a week and learned. And then for the whole week, I explored San Antonio. And the place that I wanted to go was Sons of Liberty Gunworks. And correct me if I'm wrong, it's like the ass end south of San Antonio. It's far. It's in the sticks. At least it was at the time. And I had to travel there, and I'm like, fuck, I'm lost. And I get there, and it's out of the way. And when I walked up, there's like fucking barbells and gym equipment. I'm like, all right, this is fucking pretty weird. And I walk into it, and there's like these fucking hippie guys. Like they have long hair, and they all have like these crazy fucking vape things, and they're vaping, and there's fucking crazy music, and there's a bar in the side of the shop. I'm like, and it's not just like a normal bar. It's like a Texas bar. Like it's big mahogany, a big fucking mirror, and every bottle of tequila you could possibly imagine. And they're like, you want some tequila? I'm like, no, man, I'm driving and I don't drink. They're like, okay, we'll just hang out. And so I hung out there for a while, and it was very, very instrumental in like probably my development as an entrepreneur and a businessman. Like I looked at it and I said, all right, I don't know if I can do this, but I want this. Like, this is fucking cool. And they were test firing, and every so often you would hear fire in the hole, and people would just hold their ears and boom, 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 boom. And I was like, this is fucking cool. I found my people. So I went home and I tried to go direct with them at the time, and I called some guys, and you couldn't get anybody on the phone. And I finally got someone on the phone, and they're like, yeah, just put an order in online. And I'm like, all right, like I need 10 lowers, and I need like, what rifles can I get? Well, just order something. I'm like, well, what do you got to pay us? Well, how much do I pay you? I don't know. When do I get it back? Don't know that either. And we didn't have any money at the time, so I couldn't just fucking send somebody 10 grand. I had just borrowed fucking $8,000 from the loan sharks to buy the laser. And so our relationship with Sons of Liberty never got further because of just, it wasn't in the cards. And then, but there was always like this like love of Sons of Liberty. And then you guys started getting cool. And I was like, fuck, now they're cool. And then you saw like big people like say, hey, this is probably like some of the best rifles that are out there. Like, and then other shops started carrying them. I'm like, fuck, man, I like those guys forever ago. But, and then the gunsmith, he came in and said, it's the best rifle ever. It's fucking better than anything. I'm like, God damn it. I know. And then you could buy them on distribution, and we started buying on distribution, and we sold pretty much everything we have. But that's like my experience with Sons of Liberty. And now, like, I've been kind of quiet about it because I didn't want to say, yeah, I liked them a long time ago. But now all the guys here like them. Like everybody's lower, and everybody's like, one of our salesmen has 3 of them. And so it's a real pleasure to have you guys just pop in, and even more of a pleasure for you guys to come and do our podcast. Like, that's fucking crazy. Even so, we've got this weirdo kid. I'm sorry, Boosie, but he's this kid who works for us, and he total, like, he's Boosie, and we gifted him an AR set, and he even went to Omer and said, what parts do I make my AR out of? And what'd you tell him, Omer?
The best ones. Sons of Liberty Gunworks.
And that's what he's buying.
Yeah.
So it's a brand, and other stores like carry you guys here around town, but we like, but we don't like try to say, oh, you know, so, but it's believe me, it's almost like a God thing that you guys stop by. So thank you.
Well, Will, thanks for having us. It's a real pleasure to be here, an honor to be here. And thank you for spending time with us today and welcoming us into your store. It's an amazing place. I've known about you guys since my days at Staccato.
Yeah.
And about how successful you all have been, what a great shop you run, how well you take care of your customers. And so we were, as you know, we were in town for Soft Week. And
what is Soft Week? So I'm sure people out there don't know exactly what it is.
So Soft Week, this is my first year being there.
Okay.
And so I'll just give you
my. So you don't even know what it's like.
I don't know. I'm going to tell you my perspective, okay. and Sean, who's been involved with Soft Week, years, will give you kind of the correct answer. But I would say that it's like SHOT for the special operations community. But they're not a lot of firearms. We're one of the only small arms that were there because there's a lot of future. So it's like drones and technology stuff.
Drones and missiles.
Drones, missiles, et cetera. All the good stuff that you need, to be in the bleeding edge of.
Were there shotgun people there this year?
I didn't see any shotguns, but counter drone is certainly a topic of conversation. Some of it electronic and other futuristic things, but essentially that's what it is. It's kind of like a SHOT show for special operations. It used to be called SOFIC, Special Operations Forces Industry Conference. And so come show the new stuff. Here's the people that actually write, hey, we need this new thing, we need this gun, we need this body armor, we need this vest. And so it's a chance for people to see what's out there that can inform kind of what their requirements are, and that's what they write when they get to pick something. Here's state of the art, how can we push it a little further, or what's capable, and then they take that, and then that's how we as industry kind of fast forward into products that they ultimately will pick and use.
And you're Michael what is it?
Sean Michael Murphy.
Sean Michael Murphy.
Yeah. It's just Sean Murphy. Michael's the middle name.
Just to
but
give
yeah.
him credit, the VP of Sales and Marketing for the country.
Is there not a fucking more Irish name out there? Like Jesus Christ, how do you have brown hair?
The dark eye.
Oh, there was somewhere. Yeah, there was a non Murphy involved somewhere, and you got that dark hair.
Yeah.
So you've been going to SOF for a while. You were the Night Force guy before that.
So yeah, I worked at Night Force for about 12 years, doing a lot of different jobs around there, and then I had a stint at KGM Suppressors, and now I'm here. This is actually my first week, so very excited.
Glad to have
here.
you.
Yeah.
Did
Day two. So
did
far,
you get
so
picked
good.
up by? Did Nate pick you up?
He did.
Yeah, Nate went and headhunted you, huh? Kinda.
However that worked.
However that
Here we
worked.
are, yeah.
A little bit. I had a few folks that maybe recommended that I should take a look at this guy.
How did it go at SOF Week for you guys?
Being that we actually had a gun, let's face it, guys in special operations like the action, like the juice. There's the people that like the computers and the tech and the cyber, but we had cool guns, so we had a good time showing off the new toys, the Mark 1 here in front
How
of us.
big was your booth? Like a 10 by 10, 10 by 20? Or like I'm just trying to figure it out.
Just a small. So, you have Lockheed Martin that's there with
Oh my God.
drones and missiles. And then, we were actually splitting a booth with Law Tactical, the side folders.
Killer.
So, yeah, I mean, just making it where smaller companies can represent on a big scale. And they were gracious enough to let us hang out with them. The guns at the booth had Law Tacticals on them. And, so it was a good partnership.
Tell us about that beautiful piece of machinery that's in front of you.
Nate can give you a little
Yeah,
more details.
I'll start.
Like, what can you tell us about? Because Omer is salivating pretty bad.
Okay, so what can we say? This rifle, this carbine, is 11.5 barrel length. Was designed for the special operations community, and so more to follow on that as sort of the time passes. But that was why we're at SOF Week.
So you were there to try to kind of feature that. Like this was your best foot forward. This is what you've been developing. Allegedly, maybe for people you might see at SOF or something like that. And that's what you guys came up with.
Potentially. And so there are a lot of features in that gun that were intended to serve a particular end user. So they wanted it to be very light. Of course, they wanted to be accurate. They wanted it to perform incredibly well in adverse conditions. So all sorts of things they want it to be. And these are just good, frankly, good criteria for any rifle, right? But also it's designed with parts that are highly corrosion resistant. Mm-hmm. And there's some unique features that are, so for example, there's an oversized kind of bolt release or bolt catch paddle, but it's protected by a fence that's designed into the upper so that it doesn't snag on, slings or gear or otherwise get caught up. The stock and the charging handle were both designed to be very slim and not get hung up on gear. Same with the mag catch on the other side. There's a fence around it. It's a very, very unique lockup that many of our guns utilize, but it's incredibly solid. So, earlier when you're handling it, you can't really move it around like you can, many ARs. And having that rigidity of that rail space so that everything that's on there that they're using, from optics to thermals to lasers, it's all on there and it's all set and zeroed. And so they don't want that zero to be changed. So those were all very important considerations in the design of that. Weapon. This one has a barrel that's not made out of the ultimate material of the barrel for this gun is out of a material called Armad. Armad, which is
What's that?
It's what I'll tell you what it does.
Do you know what it is, Omar? Oh, you stumped Omar.
Whoa. Start Googling it right now. I'm good.
So, so unlike a 416R or a 4150 chromoly, Armad is will extend barrel life to 60, 70,000 rounds and out of 5.56. And is also very capable in terms of, should pressures change ever in ammunition, it's capable of handling, much higher pressure.
So that's a Magpul stock on there?
Magpul stock.
Okay. Is there a reason I've never seen it before?
It's their new this year, the DT model, I think it is, yeah.
I know new things. Is it out?
So
It is
we have them, so yeah.
Yeah, it is out.
Have you ever seen that before?
No.
See, okay, it's not just fucking me. I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
Omar, pick it up.
May I?
Yeah, please.
Please.
Absolutely.
Best enjoyed in hands.
Yeah, you haven't seen it. Like, look at like the stock. It
So you
opens
pull
up from the side, and look how thin it is.
Yeah. So essentially, that gun is the refinement of generations of using M4 and derivatives and carbines in combat, and so the little details are really what make that gun special. Like Nate was saying, with the rigidity of the rail and the not having a point of impact shift with lasers, the handguard on it. If you look at the texture on it, that's actually a laser engraved, into the metal handguard. So when it's wet or sweaty, you're not having it slide around. Little details on the rail itself. There's a deep channel in the top for routing of cables, so you're not having cables hang off to the side. We've rounded off and cleaned up the edges so that, again, you don't have a sharp edge on that Picatinny rail section. So you're not cutting, especially as it, like rubbing, say you're patrolling with it or you're jumping into something and smacking into a doorway. You're not going to cut.
It's your second day?
Oh, yeah.
How do you know so much after fucking 2 days?
Pay attention. A gun nerd.
He's kind of a gun guy.
Yeah.
He's kind of a gun
nerd. Listen.
So just
listen.
point out where, the cable management, you guys.
Yeah. So here on the top, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but here on the top, you have that large channel that cuts through there. You look at the edges, both just from your hand sliding on it, but then running these cables. It's
the edges are rounded.
Yeah, I see it.
And so that you're not going to unintentionally cut your zip tie or otherwise wear it over time.
Oh, I get it. Like, you guys made it really smart. Mm-hmm. It's a very smartly done rail that's done with the end user and what they do to their shit. Like I'm sorry, it's probably not good terms to sell things in Soft Week, but yeah.
No, this gun was a passion project for the company. I mean, just being here a couple of days, listening to the guys explain it that actually worked on it. I mean, this was a labor of love of making, talking to the guys that are potentially could be using it, people that have a lot of operational experience and civilian shooters that shoot a lot, taking that input and making, what we think is the ultimate fighting carbine.
What do you think of the rail, Omar?
I'm trying to hide my boner right now.
Yeah, that's my favorite part of that. Yeah. Is that rail, the texture.
Did you touch it, Nate? Or, I'm sorry, Dean.
Yeah, when I first put it over there, I was looking at it. Oh my God. It reminds me of like the grips on like competition guns, like 1911 all metal guns.
So for the people at home, behind the scenes, they came in and they're like, "Hey, do you want to see our new rifle?" And we're like, "Would we?" And they bring in this, and it's a shocking thing. Like, it's not every day that like a major brand comes in and says, "Hey, you want to check out our new shit?" It doesn't happen really. So when we saw it kind of really blew our minds. Like the rail is laser engraved. And it's not just like a normal Geisley rail or like a normal Noveske rail. Like it cups your hand perfectly. And there's little indentions and it's a simple thing. Like, it's just laser engraving and Cerakote over it. But the simplicity is not, it's not matched by the effectiveness of the grip. And no one else has done it, which is really cool.
Am I mistaken? Is that a rifle length buffer?
It's got our A5 buffer in it.
A5.
Yeah, so a standard this year going forward, all of our guns will have the A5 buffers just a minute.
Yeah, I kept pulling on the stock and it just kept coming.
Yeah, so it is much longer than a carbine. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Nate, you were a Staccato guy. Like, you're the CEO of Staccato before you were but like Staccato, you sound like you know a lot about rifles. And so do you. Like, both of you guys sound like you know a lot about, and you were at Staccato for a while. You didn't sell rifles.
No, I was a pistol guy, and I was there for about 8 years. And no, I've been trying to take as much information on board as I can. Mike Michalski, who I wish was here, but he was teaching an armorer's course, which some of you guys have taken, I think.
Yeah.
So he's teaching one for a law enforcement department. He is the guy who knows everything about rifles, and this was literally his baby. Like, at one point there was a request of, I think I can say this. There was a request to say, "Hey, will it fire underwater?" And he said, "Well, let me find out." And he goes, "He's a pool in the backyard." And maybe I don't know if I should say this, but he says it. So he basically, yep. It works underwater. But no, so I've just been trying to pick up as much as I can. So I know less about that rifle. I know 10% about that rifle that Mike Michalski knows.
So you guys aren't AR people, or because it just sounds like you're AR people and not staccato people.
Well, we are definitely AR. We are definitely AR people, and we are definitely not staccato people. We love staccato,
Yeah.
but we're not staccato.
I'm an all guns person.
You're just-
no rifles.
Then why were you like, I'm just going to stay over to the side over here. I don't want to say anything.
Well, the funny thing about Sean Michael Murphy is that besides the name being incredibly Irish and him having brown hair, is that he's actually a very accomplished long range shooter. So your original topic, he would have been a great guest for that.
We can get in the weeds on
long range. We can go long range.
Yeah, Dean's is a
I love long range.
Yeah. Dean's a long range junkie.
Yeah, no, all guns. But yeah, I mean, an AR was the first gun I bought myself at 18 and been into them since 20 years later. So
Incredible. Why? So you mentioned the armorer's course. Why do you guys think, why do Sons think that the armorer's course you guys offer is so important?
I'll give you my perspective. Two things. One is that a huge segment of our customer base are law enforcement.
Okay.
And so law enforcement,
When you say huge, like 50%, 60%, 40%, do you know? Can you tell me that information?
30 to 40%.
Okay.
Which for a manufacturer is pretty high. When you think about the number of officers, there are maybe 1 million sworn officers in the United States versus 100 million gun owners. So if that's a 1%, market, and we're selling 30 to 40%, so we're gaining share in the law enforcement segment of the market.
It's interesting.
And so, for them to onboard a new rifle, their armorers need to know everything about it, right? How to take it down, how to maintenance, et cetera. And so a big part of our sales process in our offerings are above and beyond providing the rifle that, and Mike says this very well, the fucking thing has to work, right? It will work in every condition all the time. Is teaching these guys how to maintain it, right, and keep it well maintained. And so it's part of our support to the law enforcement community to be offering these armorers courses so that all their guys can get trained up. The second big piece, and one of the very first things I did, it was a requirement from Mike, say, you need to come to one of my armorers courses. And so that's kind of how I picked up a little bit about the AR platform, is a 2-day course with Mike Michalski and 12 other guys. He's breaking down every single piece of the gun. And, along the way, he's kind of explaining, what's important and what makes a really well-built gun that's going to function all the time and why. So, mass and the buffer system as an example, which is why we're running A5s and everything today. The bolt carrier group and the material it's made out of, the bolt itself and the ejector springs within that bolt. So you break this whole thing down completely and you take it apart, and he says, well, and lots of guys have different guns in the class. So during the class, you can, and it's not in a derogatory way at all, but it's just in that factual way. Hey, this is your buffer system and your buffer spring. Here's what this other one looks like. Here's a well-made bolt carrier group and why, and you can compare them side by side. And so you walk away from that with a real understanding and appreciation for everything that goes into a Sons rifle. So those are the two reasons I think that the armorer's course is just incredibly important.
So can we get an armorer's course? Can we figure it out? We have an area for it.
100%.
Okay. So like a Sons guy comes out and we offer it to people and something like that.
Yeah, probably Mike would come because he would want to meet you.
Really?
Yeah.
Probably do a podcast with you too.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Nice. Well, about the armorer's course, I mean, Nate, our gunsmith, went to one of yours, and he liked them before, but after that course, he was so he's like, you have no idea how great these guns are.
Yeah. So
I think that speaks to a lot,
we've got our gunsmith. You met him, Nate. He didn't really say anything too much when you guys were here. But he went to this course that you guys offered at a rival gun shop. It's okay. And he came back, and Nate hates everything. He likes his dog, and he likes Glock. That's it. Everything else, he's an angry man. He does jujitsu every day, so he's not angry. But he's very, very valuable employee, and I love him to death. He came back he hated Huck's work, hated him. But he came back and he's like, the Sons of Liberty AR is the best AR, and the Huck's work can is the best can to put on the AR. Like, how? He's like, the way they explained it, and the way the parts are, that's what we need to start selling. I said, all right, I've sold them before, but okay. It was back again, like I I've liked them for a while, but all right. Not everybody likes them. So so we can get one.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I mean,
We'll hold that to you.
as far as I know, you've got 10 on order already.
No, what we want to do a course. Like it'd be kind of.
The Armor's course, absolutely.
I could probably fill it up with like all of my people.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
Easy.
That'd be great.
You can't do it though, Omar.
No, please.
No, please.
No, none of that for you, Omar. We can't have you.
Knowing anything about AR. Can't have you knowing anything, Omar.
When we've done these, and when one of our partner dealers like you have their team participate, they walk away with such an in-depth understanding of the product that their ability to convey that to the customer is incredible. And so now they can communicate the why behind this rifle. And within the space, as you know, there are an awful lot of ARs out there. And, being able to sort of differentiate in a tangible way that's actual. And we didn't even shoot them, right? You guys have not even shot this gun. Once you shoot it, everything you're saying, you need to have a podcast after you shoot it because it's really, really fun to shoot.
How long are you guys in town for?
We're flying out Friday night.
Oh, that sucks. Because if you ever have an opportunity to come down again, like Omar and Eric do a lot of filming. Not for OnlyFans, but they do like a lot of filming for
That's
On the
off the
cans,
clock.
right?
that's off the clock. But we have different manufacturers come out and they bring their kit and they film, and Omar's pretty good at it.
Thank you.
Yeah, and Eric's pretty good at filming and editing.
Yeah. Well, I only live in Georgia, so that's an easy hop down to Florida.
Yeah, you should. I mean, whenever you can, like we would love to. Oh, can you imagine the fucking content? Like we have the new Mark I from Suns, and you're running it.
You might lose it.
Hey, we make more every day, right?
No, it's. So explain. You talked about a business shift that Suns is going to do. Like presently, you can find Suns on the major distributors, and you said that you guys are going to do a shift away from that. And I think there was like some kind of post by Mike the other day. I didn't see it, but I heard about there was a post that he was just wanting dealers to do. Can you explain the new focus business shift, if you guys will?
Yeah, 100%. So today, you can go to RSR or Sports
Correct,
South or any one of the big distributors, and you can find some Sons of Liberty rifles.
Some.
So the Mark I is never been in the distribution.
No, we would have bought it. No, never seen it.
And so what we want to move to is a model where we have a dealer base that's strategic, folks who are excited about the product, they understand the product, they're shooters. Like, honestly, you're a perfect example of the perfect dealer for us. And, because
It's humbling. Thank you.
here's the why. And it's because, and I knew that because of your track record at Staccato. So I kind of had the inside baseball line, but you guys you're not trying to sell, you're not trying to commoditize product. You're not trying to sell on price. You're selling on the best product that is available, the knowledge of your team, their welcoming nature. Like your team is all amazing. We came in here and they were like, they didn't know us, but we were approached by like 2 or 3 people within minutes of less than a minute of being in the store. Super welcoming, incredible indoor environment and vibe. And so these are the places that we've seen be the most successful in the firearms industry for selling high-end premium product where it needs to be explained to the end customer, where they're not just looking at a selection of, okay, what's that? Okay, how much money do you have to spend? Well, okay, you have $1,800, you can buy a Daniel Defense, or you have $1,000, so you're buying the Springfield, this. And people are just putting them into categories at like a big box store.
Yeah.
Right. So we don't want that experience at all. We want to partner up with dealers who are invested in us because we're going to be invested in you. It's the whole Armor, of course, thing, et cetera. And so when you sell through distribution, you cannot control the dealers that have your products. Like you have no idea.
Correct.
No idea where your product goes.
You have no idea who's representing your brand.
And they
You get fucking Knucklehead McGee.
oftentimes have no idea about you either. And so they're buying off the Sears Roebuck catalog. And there's a place for distribution. So this is not
100%.
This is not a knock on distribution. But I believe if you're a premium brand, you need to have a brand connection with the folks who are representing your product.
Yeah.
And I don't want the dealer base that are our strategic partners to have to compete with Joe down the street who has an FFL who bought off RSR and is not, is selling below, the price.
Below MAP,
right?
yeah.
They're selling below MAP. And so they're undercutting and they're essentially they're commoditizing the product. And, when you're a premium brand. So when's the last time that Rolex went on sale, right? Or Apple goes on sale? Or any premium product that you could think of, right? Because they're delivering a lot of value for what they are. They're appreciated by the consumer base for that value that's being delivered, and folks seek them out because it's incredible product. And so we have a premium, excellent product. And so being in a distribution channel that allows our guns to be sold by anyone didn't feel like the right strategic model for us.
How are you going to deal with the distributor saying, "Here's all my money"? Like they'll come at you with like, "All right, we'll pay you up front millions. Here you go."
We did put fuck on the side of a receiver. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
I mean, what do you guys think of that? The whole business plan.
I love it.
Pretty
That
cool,
sounds
right?
good. Premium makes you feel like you're buying something special. Yeah.
It's like staccatos for ARs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
You know what I mean?
yeah, the connection, I think, is one of the big things of, you spend the time, you have the education, so having some exclusive access to the product rewards you for having the staff and the guys to learn and understand it. It also lets us kind of complete this circle of if somebody calls us, say, "Hey, I'm in Central Florida. Hey, go see these guys at Shark Coast. We just shipped them a bunch of guns, and they got guys behind the counter." And you can make that connection with the customer better, and it's a premium experience all around. And then because we're talking to you and we have a relationship, you can say, "Hey, you know what? Can you do this color?" Or we're getting asked for that, and it lets us also make better products based on that feedback because you have that relationship, which we don't have right now because we don't know who has the guns and where they're going.
It's like Christmas right now. You have no idea like how stoked we are.
Yeah.
I mean,
We are too. We literally walked out of here to go have a quick bite before we came back. And I was like, I turned to Sean Michael Murphy and I said,
Sean Michael Murphy.
I said, Sean Michael Murphy, that was a good stop.
Yep.
Well, it's we didn't think we were cool enough. Like it was,
if people are following along and haven't seen this store, it's incredible. I mean, it's a super cool store.
Yeah, but
it's a gun store for gun nerds.
oh my god, yeah, we have everything.
Yeah.
Do you like the walls?
Yeah.
Do you know I was almost outvoted on the walls?
You were definitely outvoted.
So the wall, like when we redid it, like at the time the production facility looked so nice because it was brand new, and now it's gotten a bit dirty over the couple of years that's been up. But like the production facility was so nice, and our old gun shop, which was right over there, it was just a fucking pounded shithole. And I wanted this to be nice because I figured I'm probably going to die here, and I want it to look good. And I saw that this kind of splooge, if you will, at a store in Georgia, and then I found it. I got the contractor to do it, and I put it right next to a blue one. And I'm like, all right, what do you guys think? And my wife said, "It looks like you splooged on the wall." I'm like, come on, honey, that's not how it looks. No, it looks like you just splooged. And then everybody was like, "Nah, it's gross." And everybody said no, except you, Dean, right?
Yeah. Me and you were the only ones that liked it.
Yeah, me and you were the only ones that liked that. And I think you just told me you liked it because you didn't want me to feel bad.
No, I honestly like this one. 'Cause I remember, I think I said the other one was just kind of plain. Everyone else is doing it.
It was like the hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's my idea.
You gathered everybody around and you held a vote, and it was literally 2 versus like 24.
It was.
And you were like, "Yeah, I'm going with this one anyways."
My vote counts for 30.
Fuck you guys. Right? I was like, fuck you guys. We're not good. We're not doing it. We're doing this. Fuck off. I have
for the vote. I appreciate
I have veto power. Thank you for your inspiration.
Yeah, thank you for your thoughts.
Thank you for your thoughts. Yeah, fuck you. Not doing that. So, but really, like it's a real. For us to be able to have a partnership with Sons of Liberty and to go forward fuck man, it's needed. Like it's needed bad. Like right now in the AR market, there's really, people say like, "Oh, the AR market's dead." It's not fucking dead. Just the product you have to sell is shit right now. Like there's no innovation. There's no, you can't get the good stuff. Like that's the problem. Like you can't get the good stuff. Like if you want, like Noveski is kind of difficult to work with. Like Radian, their stuff is inconsistent. Radian, people don't know what it is. Daniel has been around for a while and hasn't come out with anything new. And we like all those brands but like, so the Sun stuff started popping and we're like, fuck, this is good shit. And then we've seen it around and like, fuck, well, how do we get that? And then we're like, well, fuck, well, are they going to want to sell to us when they're selling to the guy down the street? Like, fuck, I don't know, man. And that Mike guy's kind of scary. I don't know if I want to call him. And then I just remember from calling back in the day, like, yeah, just send money. And there wasn't, but if I knew, like, I didn't know that, that you had come on board. So it's a real pleasure too, because like dealers need stuff like that. They need product. Like it's not about, you'd be surprised at how people can magically come up with the amount of money needed to buy a high-end product. Like if you tell someone, no, this is the best, this is why. This is what I shoot this every weekend. It does this because of this. This is what I would use. This is my gun. Oh, here, check it out. This is my gun. Look at this. This is why I use this and this. And that permeates to the staff, and then the staff starts using it, and then they just start flowing. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I know there's going to be a lot of non-AR nerd people watching, and that might not fully appreciate all the amazing stuff that goes into the rifles themselves. So just from a perspective of anybody can understand it, the number one thing that sold me before I knew anything about ARs, because you guys were the first company that was recommended to me when I was working here, is the warranty. Like that's something you don't have to be a nerd to understand how amazing your guys' warranty is. It's the best, hands down, in the entire industry. I don't think anything comes close.
Yeah, I mean, in the warranty is it's a point of pride for Mike, and I love him to death for this because he's very forward thinking on this. The warranty is not just a warranty for workmanship and materials. This is the warranty that if your tires wear out, we're going to replace it. So if you shoot out your barrel, but the barrel was never really intended to go to the life that the number of rounds that you put through it, we'll replace it under our warranty. And I'm not aware of anyone else doing that.
One thing that somebody pointed out to me is if, God forbid, you have to use it in a justified shooting, you guys take care of that too.
100%. Yeah. So we have a lot of people, we heard this a lot. I've heard this a lot, that, hey, I don't want to buy that gun because I have to use it. The police are going to take it. I'm going to have to spend all this money. It's going to be in lockup. And so we said, okay, well, if that happens, and it's a justifiable shooting, we're going to replace that rifle for you until you get it back. Mm-hmm. And we do that every day for law enforcement departments across the country. They probably have more shootings than anyone else.
They have shootings.
They have shootings, and I think we did like 50 or 60 rifles to law enforcement officers.
Oh Jesus!
So
last year.
Yeah, last year.
And it's not just the gun, it's the optic, it's the light. Like we go to the point of like, hey, we'll buy an extra aim point. When it's done, it comes back to us. But like if you had a EOTech on there, we're going to send you the gun as you were carrying it, not just the gun itself.
Oh, wow.
Sounds like our warranty. We do silly shit like that. Like a lot of like people send us like the guns that we customize for them, and fucking 80% of the time it's limperist. You know what I mean? And we'll or someone fucking does holster wear, and we replace their stuff for them.
Yeah.
But I don't give them EOTechs.
In my mind, there's like a scale of 1 to 10 to how good a company's warranty is, and you guys are the only 11 that I know of. Like the one step above, like the absolute most you could do. Giving someone a fucking EOTech as a loaner because theirs was in police custody or whatever. Yeah, that's insane.
Omar was going to get one, but he couldn't afford it when he was 19.
Yeah.
So Omar
so got the lower. Yeah, it's just the lower.
Omar just became a U.S. citizen. He came from Turkey, and he wanted to come to America and shoot guns. Like he got here and he went to a range and rented an AR-15 and he rented a Smith & Wesson because that's what he knew. And he's been like on this journey. He got a job here when he was 18. He was sandblasting for us. And at the time, like the whole suppressor thing changed, and I needed somebody to do suppressor paperwork. And being very racist, I walked by him. I'm like, oh, young kid. Who's from another country. I bet he knows computers. And I said, hey, do you know computers? He's like, yes, boss, I can build them. I'm like, great, you're my new NFA guy. And so I took him from the manufacturing side and made him do NFA. Now he helps run production and a bunch of other stuff.
Oh, congrats and welcome to the party.
Thank you very much. The air tastes nicer now.
Yeah. Poor guy. Like he was like back in the day, he was literally sandblasting for 6 months. Like, I mean, they look. You ever see Star Wars, like the Sand People? Like that's what the sandblasters looked like back in the day, and they sounded like that. They were completely covered. You couldn't see because there was nothing but Glock dust. Pretty good. We don't have any lawsuits. The old sandblasters come back. I have Glock poisoning. You know what I mean?
You've heard of microplastics. I've got fucking macroplastics.
What's the demographics of the customer base that you guys do? Like, so you have 30%. It's like, are you guys? So you guys are more focused on Leo military and consumer, or how is that like going forward now that you're kind of handling things?
Yeah, no. So historically, we've had a blend of both civilian and law enforcement sales. And I would say that our brand is more well recognized in the professional community. So law enforcement, kind of in some level of gov, we have greater brand awareness there than we do in the broad, civilian gun market. We're working to change that.
Was that like a conscious thing from the founder, Mike, or it just kind of worked out that way?
Just happened.
It happened.
It wasn't conscious. I mean, and Mike is a firm believer in an armed republic, and so his mission is I want to put an AR in the hands of every law-abiding American.
Yeah.
And so he wants everybody to be well armed, and which is something really that was kind of what the company was founded on, that principle of that, which is very much like what you're doing here and how your thought process works of what you're doing. But so in terms of the customer base, we're about 30 to 40% law enforcement today. That's mostly because we're growing very rapidly in that market space. And a lot of those end users, they love the lifetime warranty. They love the, officer involved.
They love that shit.
The replacement, that whole thing. And they love the performance of the rifles. Right. And so we're winning there, and it's just been really lack of, I would say, brand awareness within the civilian space. Part of the reason, this is part of the reason we're moving away from this distributor model, is because in the distributor model, again, you kind of end up at all these different endpoints. And the endpoints really aren't articulating your brand. You're kind of sitting up on the shelf. You're just another thing out there.
Yep.
And so we're working hard to, as we move forward, to build that as we go forward, and to raise awareness in the overall community of the products and the quality that we're producing.
We promote the brands that we're into. And I think that, that promotes the brand more than it being on a distributor shelf. Like, you're right. Like, you're exactly people like Staccato. People shoot Staccato in our area and buy Staccato in our area, not because we're the great Staccato salesman, because how well it functions and everybody here shoots one. People come here. They come here for a macro and they fucking leave with a CS. But then the reason why more people buy it is not so much because we're the greatest salesman ever or their marketing, but they go to the range and they see what that person's shooting, whether it's, and it also permeates to or trickles down to their long gun, their concealed carry. They come and they sell what we give them. And that's a really valuable thing that I think it's lost in the industry. Yep. Like I'm a big proponent of the mom and pop shop. Like the mom and pop shop that have shooters working for them, that have a history of being in the community and arming the community and being part of it. Like you're a steward of the community, meaning that you employ the people, you arm the people. You're part of it. And if something ever goes wrong, you're handing out shit. But like in the industry, shit gets lost in translation, meaning that it's like what, like you have everybody selling Daniel Defense, LWRC, different fucking brands, but without loyalty behind it. But then you have specialized shops like us, where there's like, we have loyalty with B&T and Y. We have loyalty with Q and Y. We have loyalty with all these different brands that promote the brand. Yep. It becomes a symbiotic relationship. You know what I mean? It's not just, and we're exactly what you're saying. If your stuff is just an RSR, like, the rep says, yeah, you should buy that. It's cool. It's selling right now. Like, oh yeah, you should buy this. It's selling right now. Okay, really? How's the margin? All right, cool. Let's do that. Whereas it grows through a place like Shark Coast, and then all the other shops around it are going to say, oh, fuck, how do we get those? And then the good shops will get them. And then the people around it will all go to that brand. Does that make sense?
1,000%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think going back to the kind of customer and tying into all that, who do we identify with? It's really the performance-oriented customer. Right. And so government users tend to value, it's got to shoot, it's got to be reliable.
Right.
You know, there are lives on the line, whether it's theirs or somebody else.
100%.
And then on the civilian side, not everybody, you know, is necessarily going to value that and spend the money on it, but we're not a company for everybody. Like, we're not making a commodity product. We're making something that's the best damn rifle that runs, it shoots, you have to shoot it to experience it because of the recoil impulse, and just it freaking runs.
Yeah,
you know, those kind of things, and that's where shops like yours and having guys that know what that is and they've seen that and they can explain that no spec sheet can ever lay out for anybody. We could say it's reliable, we could say it shoots, but then when you have the places like, this is what we're for as well. And so you do have that connection and you find that consumer. And those are the people that get looked up to. So when you're talking your range example, they are the ones shooting the staccato. Well, why? Well, look how good this thing shoots. Well, why is that? It's performance.
And we would probably have sold more lately, but like RSR doesn't sell the SBRs. Like we haven't gotten but we can't, so we're SBR centric shop. You know, we sell that, you know, that kind of shit. Like we sell short guns. And that, or 13.6. Like we don't sell, you know, we're not really like a long one and the wrong one. You know, like we sell them, people want them, and that's not sold on RSR.
Well, and that's where the direct model, you can get what you want. You know, you're not beholden to what a buyer or a distributor gets because they might not sell them. But if you want them, we can connect with you. And you want all SBRs? Cool, we'll send you SBRs.
Well, and I guess probably the rest of the country is more into like 16. But I remember like back in the day when the fucking pistol, like back in the day, like 2012, like we were selling, you know, pistol guns without the pistol brace, you know, and they would sell kinda, and then the pistol brace came out, and then boom, everything was short. And since that time, everything's always been short in Florida. And it's because of the shops, and you try to tell, you know, the distributors that, and they're like, all right, well, legal says it's not good to have pistols, so we're not going to sell them. But that's what people want. You know, people aren't doing 3-gun with 16-inch rifles. People are doing 3-gun with 13.6s, yep. As short as possible, but that doesn't sacrifice the distance that they can get. And people aren't defending their houses with 16s. You know, they will, but and 16s don't sell as fast, and that's a factor too. Like, you got to feed your family. You have to have things that sell well. When, like, back in the day, this is funny. So back in the day, the only thing that was available that was good was Daniel's MK18s. That's right, and the only person who had them was Davidson's. Davidson's had MK18s, pistols without anything on them, and you could buy them, and then we would slap a brace on it. And then they had, they stopped. And I met Marty that year and said, hey, you know, what the fuck? Like, what happened to all your pistols? I'm like, well, we're just going to sell SBRs. And back then, like, SBR paperwork was fucking crazy. And we're like, I don't know if that's a very good idea, Mr. Daniels. Like, you need to sell these as pistols. And somehow I got through to them. The rep who's now the vice president, and this guy named Jim, calls me. He's like, hey, we're going to do what you suggested, and we're going to start selling the MK18 as pistols again. We had all these SBRs. We're going to turn them back into pistols and sell them. And I just want to say thank you for doing that.
Hell yeah.
You know, but it's what I'm saying is sometimes people are so big that they forget the basics.
Well, as soon as you stop listening to your customers,
yeah,
you're on the way down.
Exactly. Why is there not a Sons pistol build or even SBRs on the RSR website available? Like, that's what people want. With the way how easy it is to transfer SBRs, like, that's what people want. Would you guys not agree?
Yeah, I think
100%.
definitely everyone wants short barrels.
Especially in Florida.
Yeah. I think the solution you guys came to is a great one, which is just, no more distributors.
Correct.
You buy what your customers want, what you believe is good. And it's, I mean, it really just comes down to the difference between a company made by shooters for shooters versus a company that's made off of spec sheets.
Yeah, well said, Omar.
Yeah, you can tell the detail that goes into it. You can tell that rifle was designed with someone who actually shot the rifle, not just someone who thought, oh, well, people buy this, we'll put them together.
Yeah.
So for your law enforcement customers, are they going down from, I know traditionally law enforcement usually uses like 16s or 14.5s. Are they moving down to like the 11s and 12s and 13s?
Yeah, I think the 11.5 is very popular within the law enforcement community.
Yeah, one of the big reasons is going suppressed as well.
Right.
You know, this rise of suppressors on duty rifles, both as an officer safety and a public safety. You know, you're in a situation and the officer comes in and cooks an AR inside. Like, even if they have ear pro, what about everybody else that's inside? So that is a honest conversation that everybody are having of what's the best. But that's where like the 11.5 with a short can on it is probably the all around. It's compact, in and out of a vehicle. You know, whether it's a trunk, a roof rack, or a side rack. Maximum portability, good balance of everything. But adding that can versus a 16-inch where you add another 5 to 8 inches on the end of the barrel. So
yeah.
And also at the end of the day, average law enforcement officer probably isn't taking 500-yard shots.
Exactly.
What about Blackout? Are you guys carrying it? Like, do you guys have Blackout guns? Blackout's real big and
coming soon. Coming soon.
It's real big in our area. Like we just like it for the suppression. Like we like getting stuff pretty quiet and I think it's really just me. I like it. Like, I like Blackout.
They are fun. They are fun. But I think going back to that performance angle, we're just wanting to make sure it's perfect before it goes out.
Got it. What about so you guys did a Christian Craighead exclusive. Were you a part of that, or have you ever met him?
I've met him several times. He worked with us at Staccato, so I've known.
That's how the connection came.
Yeah, for a period of time. But I wasn't involved in the Craighead gun. That was in process before I came on board. I love the gun. I think it's amazing, but it was fully baked before I joined.
Yeah, you want to pull it down and let people see it?
Yep.
He's like a rock star for like our shop. Like everybody gets really geeky over him. Like we had his the Zev, yeah. And we immediately sold them all and then got pissed we couldn't get any more. And then like a couple times he's liked our posts and we've all like on Instagram and then we've all like screenshot it and said, "Look, Christian Craighead liked our fucking reel. Look at that. Did you see that?" I think Omar framed it and stuck it in his
I have it framed in my house.
Yeah, because it's Omar's video.
It's my video.
Yeah.
You like my video? I'll never forget that.
Nice.
I've got the Instagram notification. Christian Craighead has liked your post. I'm like,
Screen.
Hell yeah.
I've got the Blackbeard flag on everything I have. It's on the back plate of my clocks. It's on the back of my car.
Nice.
I'm not saying it would be a great financial success, but if you would like us to customize a Glock with Sons of Liberty stuff on it and Christian Craighead stuff on it, we would do that for you.
A Glock?
Yeah.
Why don't we do a rifle?
Because they can make their own rifle. They can make, but if you'd like us to paint your rifles but the thing, that fucking logo is so titties.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like that logo, like have you seen the logo on the other side? It's a little different than
I showed it to the
oh my God, like that on a Glock.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
With chunk port, that on a Glock. I could just make a Glock and put it on there and just keep it. And
One of one.
one of one, exactly.
Put it in a case.
Nerding out about this rifle real quick. I noticed you guys didn't go for the bolt release on the right side.
The ambi.
Yeah.
I've seen it's a lot on all your rifles. I was kind of not confused. I was kind of surprised it wasn't on this one, but I'm assuming it's because purpose-driven. Probably SOF guys aren't really looking for that.
The requirement that it was made for specified non-ambi.
I see.
So it's
Why?
That's what they said.
Because none of them are
These are guys that shoot for a living and have seen and done everything. And if I had to read between the lines, I mean, everything about the gun is low profile. So one less thing that's a snag hazard when they're fast roping, or when they're patrolling around and have a lot of kit on. Minimal stuff to snag on was a very big priority.
And I think I would add to that. I agree, and I would add to that, at least from what I've heard. Less mechanical parts, and less opportunity for
breakage,
debris to kind of enter into the rifle when you don't want it to. And so it's just they don't need it because it doesn't matter whether you're righty, lefty, or you're ambidextrous. They're trained so well that they know how to run that gun.
Yeah.
Right.
Will you guys be selling it as an upper?
Maybe.
All right, I'll take that. Maybe.
We've got to meet our rifle, our carbine demand for complete first.
Makes sense.
So
Just like us. Like they have orders to fulfill. They have their military Leo contracts, and then they have all the dealers they want to make direct, and they have to fill all those. And then if they have extra, they can sell uppers to people.
I love all the little details, like
it's huge, isn't it?
The
fucking huge.
The broadsword was like, I saw that, I'm like, something's not right here, and I had to inspect it, and it didn't click until I read about it and realized why you guys did. And it's like small details that you would just look over and not think twice about, and you can tell, like, the guys who made this know what they're doing. They've used it, they've found something tiny, and they've improved it, and that's everything.
Dean, does it make you want to buy an AR again?
It does, because I probably in that thing, like Omar said, ARs are kind of dead, because it just got boring to me, so I never cared too much about them. They all kind of look the same, and shooting them just got not as fun. And I've been looking at this thing, I've been sitting here, and I want one.
That's a strong endorsement from Dean.
Yeah.
So Dean's Dean's a pretty good competition shooter. Like Dean's pretty good. So Dean is right now in his AR or not AR. He's in his long range.
Yeah.
It took him 6 months to decide exactly what long range gun he wanted, what optic he wanted. But Dean has been heavy competition pistols. He has a Staccato XC.
Yeah.
He bought one of the first ones we got in.
And it took me a while to make that decision too.
And so Dean's a big shooter. Omar's a big shooter too. Luke is more of a J-frame revolver type guy.
Gets the job done. But.
No, Luke's a geek more into older stuff, but he's still a geek about. You have a son's lower, don't you?
No.
All of you should have. I gave all of you guys fucking lowers for. You went to SHOT Show.
Yeah,
you
I went
didn't
to
get
SHOT
one.
Show. Yeah.
Everybody who didn't get to go to SHOT Show this year, who watched the store, I gave them all sons lowers.
That's awesome.
Nice.
I mean, I should have given him more, but. Everybody else got to go to Vegas. I'm like, here, have a fucking lower.
It's a great lower.
Have a lower, you fucking slob. You don't get to go to Vegas. So how are you, what is your strategy, or do you guys even care, like competing against the bigger companies? Like, so to me, I see exactly what you're doing. You've got product that's so good that you can bring it to certain individuals and just go that way. I get it. But like, you still have to compete against the bigger companies. Like if Sig sees what you're doing, they're going to try to copy you. If Daniel sees what you're doing, they're going to try to copy you. I mean, or are you guys just, is it just the basics where where Mike grew his company is like, look, I'm going to build the best fucking rifle ever. And now you're taking that ethos and just trying to refine it by, all right, fuck distribution. We're going to pick strategic, good dealers that we can grow with. And or do you think about like the bigger companies looking at you and watching what you're doing?
A little bit of both. We don't spend a lot of time. I don't spend a lot of time thinking about the competition. I spend most of my time thinking about the customer.
Okay.
And the end user. And so what we're trying to do is be really good listeners and take on feedback from the end users and then incorporate that feedback into our product. And so we're trying to be very nimble, and so that we'll continue to make improvements in the product throughout the year. We'll make inline changes and constantly upgrading the product. We have a bunch of we're making several improvements coming up in the next month or so. And so,
can you tell us those improvements? Or is it secret?
So no, I mean, one in particular is the all of our rifles from the L89 and up in the product line are all going to be shipping no later than the beginning of June. And this gun already has it. Some of our guns already have it. But it's some proprietary barrel rifling technology, and through a manufacturing partner, that we have, that the barrels and the performance of the barrels is going to be very, very, very good. They're already good. This is going to be exceptional.
They're going to be even better.
They're going to be even better. And so one thing in particular that a lot of people will notice is when you're shooting different grain bullet weights, right? So if you're shooting a 55 grain versus a 62 or 77, in most AR platforms, you're going to get poor performance out of your 55 when it comes to what your group size is. And as you increase that weight, your group size is going to shrink. And with a new rifling technology that we're incorporating here, the dispersion between the 55 grain and the 77 grain is much smaller.
Wow.
So your 55 grain.
How's that possible?
Science.
Yeah, I don't know the answer. I don't know the answer to.
No, that sounds like fucking voodoo.
So, I don't know the why behind that. To be honest,
Right, I mean, so how?
Yeah.
How can you fucking do that?
How the bullet engages with
Oh, here's Sean
the
McMurphy.
rifling of the barrel. Yeah, there you
the
go.
long
There
range
you go.
guy.
Here comes the geeky guy.
The simple version is it's not the same, landing groove like most rifles have. It's different, and how the projectile interacts with the barrel is a little different, and it's more forgiving. This is the very short version of it. But, for
What do you say, Eric?
He said it's
What's
witchcraft and
science
pixie
stuff.
dust.
Science stuff.
Yeah, no, basically how the bullet is engraved by the barrel. It affects a lot of that, and so the depth, the shape, the way that the barrel is cut is different, and that's how some of that comes into play.
Okay, and so one of your partners that you're building your stuff with, all of your rifles are going to come with that starting in June.
Correct. So some are already shipping, like the Mark One already has that barrel technology incorporated.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
So it's even more accurate.
More accurate, and then even as a byproduct helps with longer barrel life. So because it's more forgiving, it's a little, if you want to think of it as easier on the bullet, it's easier on the barrel, and so it doesn't erode as fast. Barrel erosion is what kills the barrel, so it doesn't erode at the same rate, and that's how we can get the super magic steel, and this kind of new rifling lets us have something that will give it that super long barrel life, as well as also shooting better.
Is it a different?
You've been there for 2 days?
I know people here. It's I may only work here for 2 days, but it doesn't mean I only know things of 2 days.
Okay. All right.
And I'm a nerd. I'm a gun nerd.
You and Omer can exchange OnlyFans Instagram.
We can.
He's really geek. Do you understand what he's talking about?
Absolutely.
Is it possible?
Yes.
Okay.
They can make it.
Yeah. The other thing too, like, why are we doing it? Because right now, what we have on the market for ammo is kind of the same it's been for 50, 60 years. And, the military is chasing a whole new generation of ammunition, that new M7, that squad, next gen squad weapon stuff. There's a lot of, it's an incubator period for the industry behind the scenes, that in a few years, what comes out of it is some really, really cool stuff that we can't quite talk about right now, but these are lessons learned of focusing on, let's not just make it good with what we have now, but let's make it awesome in the future as well. So as this matures, these other things that make it an entire weapon system get better, we're already ready for the future.
Oh, killer. So you've got you've got that coming out. You have that contract that you can potentially get. You've got your focus on Leo. You've got the barrel thing, the voodoo barrel that's coming, that we can just say, shifting from distribution to key accounts. What else is on the horizon? New facilities, new growth. What do you guys want to do? Where do you see yourself in a year?
It's funny you should mention that. We are going to be moving the facility, so we'll try to maintain as much character as we can with the bar and everything else. But
Is it still there, the bar?
the bar is still there.
Because Mike doesn't drink anymore, right?
He does not. Nope. The Green Dragon Tavern is alive and well, and we'll take that with us. But we're gonna move to a new facility to allow a little more space and allow for some growth. So we've got that going on. We'll continue to make progress on some of the things like the 300 Blackout, that we talked about. The Mark 10, which is the sort of the big brother, the big boy. We'll be working on that platform as well.
Mark 10, what do you mean? Like a 308?
308. Yep.
Is there one on the market now?
Yeah, we've made them. We've
Small batch.
batch. So we've made small numbers of those, and so we're bringing those online at higher production as well.
What about short 308s or short 6.5s?
part of it. I think we've done some 12.5, 308s. I think there's actually some at an agency or two here in Florida that have a 12.5, 308
that's
for
cool.
some specialized work, but
Gators.
or whatever else Florida man comes across. Yeah. Snakes, whatever. So yeah, short barrels. Again, everybody wants shorter, and so it's part of the package of things that we're looking at.
Yeah, me and Omer both want short 6.5s.
I want a 14.565.
Yeah.
If you're listening to
Yep.
feedback, that's one thing I throw in there. Mark 10, 14.5, 6.5 read more.
Heard.
Yep.
It doesn't kick as much.
And they, if I'm not mistaken, SOCOM just adopted a new contract for a 14.565. So
Yeah,
you just fucking sneak in there real quick. Here's a
Yeah.
Mark 10.
Yep.
I'm sure they're probably already on it.
I'm sure.
There's probably real smart people working those contracts. I could use one of those.
It would be fun.
Yeah, we don't have I could use a smart person doing military contracts.
Sharkos, our military loves running around with pink locks.
Those pink locks have paid for braces, volleyball. Like I've raised a family with those fucking
Paid for life.
paid for life. Like I've like that. Those fucking pink guns, man. I mean, I've raised 7 children on those goddamn things.
It's American dream.
I think the next step is getting a contract gun that's like the cow pattern. Trigger.
That fucking cow pattern, man. Oh my god. Yeah, man. The funny thing is we did that cow pattern gun, and then everybody copied it.
Yeah.
Everybody copied it.
And they're all the other ones. You can just tell from looking at them.
They're just shit.
There's no lines. It's just like bleeding into the white.
Yeah.
All the spots. You can tell if it was made by us or somebody else just by looking at it.
We did we were at the NSAGW and we went there, and then like a distributor, our first meeting with the distributor was like, all right, like we want you to work for us. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like we want you to do all of our stuff. I'm like, all right, cool. And they had some really cool ideas. They had really dumb ones. They had they wanted. Do you guys know they wanted us to make the gay Glock?
I heard. Yeah.
Yeah, they wanted us to make they were like, we want you to make a gay Glock.
Like a pride flag Glock?
Like a pride flag Glock.
I see.
Same company who was like, well, if you don't want to do that, will you make the cow gun? And then so we made a Glock that looks like a cow, and we made the trigger like a udder, and it like sold incredibly well. And then like Ruger heard about it, and Ruger contacted us like, look, we want like 10,000, and we want to sell them to Sports South. And we're like, we're not doing that. We're not gonna we work for this other company. And they're like, are you sure? Like, no, yeah. I'm like, fuck that. We don't want to do 10,000 LCPs with, and Cal. Fuck that.
There is no market like the gun market in the United States. That's for sure.
And then but they found somebody to do it because and then you saw everybody doing it. And we were just like, fuck that. And like, it's such a pain in the ass. I get to take apart the trigger, paint it, put it back all together, fucking troglodyte guys are losing parts left and right. It was no fun, right? It was no fun at all. But but those pink locks, they pay for life. You know what I mean? I've raised 10 dogs. 10 dogs, 7 kids. And a Turkish kid. Right?
All right. I'm American. Americans.
You're American. Yeah, So Dean wants to get one. Luke, will you break down?
Probably.
Yeah.
I won't.
That's really cool. Yeah.
We do have some long barrel SPR stuff for some near distance.
I was just about to ask that question. What do we have for some distance?
Yeah, we got our stainless, the broadsword gun will be a good one.
Yeah. That thing's awesome.
SPR barrels in them.
Well, we really appreciate you guys stopping by. And I know it was really unplanned for you to do a podcast with us, and it's not like we're not like fucking Joe Rogan or anything. So please, thank you for coming on and gracing us with your presence.
Yes, thank you.
Giving us the ability to order your product directly. Like believe me, it's been a bit of a sore kind of spot, like because there's other shops around us who have you guys, and we're like, oh fuck, like they're not gonna let us buy their stuff. They're not gonna let us like have a course. Like the first thing I was like, when Nate went to it, I said, fucking ask him if we can do it. Like ask them if we can like have them come. We'll have them come to the production building. They'll teach all the guys. We'll bring some of our key guys, our key accounts, or our key customers to come and just hang out. It'll be so fucking cool. And then Nate's like, no, they're not gonna do it. They don't want to do it. They won't do it. They don't make any money. I said, no, I mean, I'll pay for it. But so it's it's like fucking Christmas. Yeah. You know, wouldn't you guys agree?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's not every day you get to have the best rifle makers in the country.
Just pop on by.
And then bring this beauty with them.
Yeah.
And then let us do a podcast with you.
Man.
No, it's titties. Thank you.
Well, Will, thank you. I mean, thank you. Thanks to the team. Y'all are amazing, so welcoming. And we were just driving by and we thought, you know what? I think Shark Coast is around here somewhere. Let's see if we can just stop in. And when we came up to the counter, like, I did not expect you to be here.
Oh no, I'm here every day.
And that's the difference between the shops where the owner is on site every day and the shops where they are not. It's a night and day experience for the customer. And so when the guys came up and they're so friendly, it's like, oh yeah, well, he's in the back. You know, Will's in the back. You know, he'll be happy to meet with you. So
of course.
It was a privilege, and thank you for your hospitality and for sharing your store and what else, the other things you have working. Really appreciate you sharing all that with us, and couldn't be happier about having you on the team.
Kick ass. Well, that's going to do it for episode 38. We want to thank you for watching it. It's a real pleasure to have Sons of Liberty here. If you get the opportunity, please like the YouTube page, hit the bells for notification. We also have Instagram, Facebook, and we have a wonderful gun shop on Bee Ridge Road in Sarasota. Please come by if you have the opportunity. And if you ever want to talk to Omar, he's at production@sharkcoasttactical.com.
Give me an email.
He will email you back and explain anything and everything to you. Thank you very much. Awesome. Hey, appreciate you, man.
Thank you.
Thank you.